Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my new Ballista Falconer endgame build for last Epoch. As always, I will show you every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now what you're looking at right now is 700 plus corruption on this Falconer. And the skills that we are using are Ballista as your main damage dealer. You'll be able to drop 5 of these, and by triggering Potion, you're going to get a 100% multiplier to your Ballista. So as you're playing, you actually want to be spamming potions as well. And as you can see, when we show some single targets, you're going to have potions everywhere on the map. We are also using Falconry for added damage from our Falcon. We are using Aerial Assault as our movement skill, and this automatically triggers Umbral Blades. And Umbral Blades is going to do a lot of things for you. It's going to shred armor. It's going to give you physical shred. It's going to give you some survivability. I'll break this down during the skill portion. And we are using Smoke Bomb for added survivability. So it's pretty simple. You jump around the map, you drop ballistas, and you spam potions. And you're extremely strong. Obviously, this is 700 plus corruption. Now, there is a little bit of a sequence to this. You want to use your movement skill, then when you drop, immediately hit your ballistas, and then you want to spam potions and continuously use your movement skill because it gives you multiplicative damage and attack speed for your ballistas. So everything has really good synergy. Let me show you some single targets. 700 corruption exiled mage, and you got to be careful with exiled mages. They can nuke you in one shot if you are not paying attention. And what I really wanted to showcase here is look how many potions are on the screen. Everyone's favorite, fully empowered, poison, 700 plus corruption, Nemesis. Sometimes this guy drives me crazy. And dead. Shade of Orbis, and look at all those potions. So you want to use your movement, you want to hit them with Falcon strikes, 5 ballistas, and actually through gear you would be able to even drop more than 5 ballistas, and you pop potions. You never have to worry about needing potions. They're everywhere. Triple fire bosses. And again, once you're over 700 corruption, you have to be very careful. Just keep moving. Drop a couple ballistas and move. And you want to use aerial assault all the time because this gives your ballistas a big boost to their attack speed and their multiplicative damage based upon your intelligence. So smoke bomb for survivability. You're going to be dropping Umbral Blades and just pop potions all the time. Again, look at the field. You see potions everywhere. Falconry also has its kill threshold on it. So a lot of times you'll see that and smoked. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills, starting with our damage dealer, which is Ballista, and I'll try and point you in the right direction on what nodes you want to take first. Now for Ballista, first thing you want to do is come down and over. This is going to give you placement speed and attack speed, less mana cost, but more importantly, practical build, 40% multiplicative damage and 40% attack speed. You are then going to come straight down, more attack speed, more health and duration, potion drops. This is why there's health potions all over the place. And right here, elixir of construction, 100% multiplicative damage for 4 seconds when you use a potion. Absolutely massive for the build. Now, the remainder of the points you're going to kind of work around over here. Damage stat ratio, your build modifiers also apply to your ballista. You're going to come up over here, and you want to make sure it's piercing at least 1 enemy. I actually wish I could afford 2 or 3 points in here. You're then going to come up and over and get critical strike ratio and critical strike multiplier, which means it's going to use your stats for the ballista. So that is your main damage dealer. Moving over to our movement skill, Aerial Assault. Now for Aerial Assault, first thing you want to do is come over here to the right and snag Tactician. This is going to make it where the Ballista does 2% multiplicative damage per intelligence. That's why you still want as much intelligence as you can on this build and dex. And Ballista increased attack speed, 75%. Insane node for Ballista. You're then going to come straight up and snag these 2 nodes right here. This is what's actually going to make Umbral Blades work. If you don't take this node, this skill literally never generates, and it's going to give you 100% armor shred chance for your Umbral Blades. You're then going to come straight down and get remaining cooldown for your Falcon. You're going to get missing mana recovered. You're going to get remaining cooldown, and you're going to get missing health recovery. This is one of my favorite movement skills in the game. Last points, you're going to come over here to the left, and you're going to take Wing Burst, so with Feather Storm, and then any remaining points you'll just put into Razor Blade so that it lasts more often. Moving over to Falconry. Now, Falconry I actually had up to 32 points into, but I've kind of reeled those in for this example because you don't need 32 points into Falconry. But first thing you want to do here is come down to the left, Falconer's Journey. This is going to give you multiplicative damage based upon your level and your dexterity. You're then going to come up and over, remaining cooldown, hits, mana and life, kill threshold, and additional hits. You're then going to come straight down. Your damage is now applied to your Falcon and boost to critical strike chance. You're then going to come to the left, bounce back over here, multiplicative damage and multiplicative damage. And then your final points are over here. Your Falcon is going to slow enemies, give frailty stacks, and fear enemies. Fear is something that I've been slowly adding to my builds. Normally fear doesn't last very often, but what it does do is break up enemy attack animations. So even if they stop attacking for a second, that means you have a lot of survivability because of fear. It's very, very nice. Moving over to Umbral Blades. Now this skill is not going to do any damage for you, okay? But just know it is automated, so you never have to click it. It is always going to pop up 3 times when you jump. It is going to shred enemies' armor right here. It is also going to give you tons of Dust Shroud for survivability. It is also going to chill enemies, and we are using the physical shred blessing, so it's going to be shredding enemies' armor. The only damage it will actually do is shadow daggers. Now, obviously, this is not a shadow daggers build, but it does give you some decent damage on the training dummy, which is nice, and again, fully automated. Last but not least, Smoke Bomb. Now for Smoke Bomb, first thing you want to do is take longer duration and bigger area. You're then going to come up and over and get Cleanse Ailments. This will help keep you alive. This is going to give you added slow stacks as well. And it's going to give you your Glancing Blow over 100% when it triggers. And it is spec'd into the biggest possible area for just more survivability. Those are the skills. So now let's break down the passive tree. At time of recording, I am level 98, and I will show you where I plan on putting those final 2 nodes. Now looking at the rogue tree, we have 20 points put in. We're taking Dex, Health, the standard bottom tree here, which is less damage while moving, dodge, haste on hit chance, and increased damage per movement. And then that's 19 points. So the final point so we can move on is on dodge and parry for glancing blow and Dex. Now moving over to the Falconer tree, I currently have 70 points put in, and the last 2 points will be going on this tree. We have taken minion damage with Falcon and Ballista crit chance, Crimson Shroud chance, which your Ballista is going to be hitting all the time. So even at 5%, that is all you need. Bonus damage for our Falcon, 15% maximum endurance threshold per your life, big for survivability. And then in the center here, Tactician. This is melee, throwing, and bow damage for Ballista. Huge. Okay. Now jumping to the second half of the tree, we're taking Silver Shroud on ability use. We're taking Falcon abilities instant cast. This is like you have to take this node on basically every Falconer build because it's so good. We're getting Dex, Armor, Dodge, increased minion damage, and health on Falcon hit to give you some leech back. Your Falcon's going to help you out. Come over here, we're getting armor per dex. This is huge for survivability and increase armor on a Falcon hit. Coming up here, we're taking critical strike chance and crit multiplier. This is for you and your minions. And remember that your minions are going to get part of your damage as well. So they're kind of double dipping on these nodes. Extra potion slot and increased haste effect. You're going to move very fast. Haste is going to have a 5-second, and this is on potion use, which you're spamming potions all the time anyways. Go straight up, glancing blow, and double glancing blow if you've not been hit. Most of the time, if you haven't been hit, you're going to have over 100% glancing blow. 6 into tailwind. This is damage taken while moving, movement speed, and dodge, and this is doubled after a Falcon hit. Your Falcon's hitting all the time. And then I plan on putting 7 points right here. So this is critical strike avoidance and health on hit, but minion critical strike multiplier based upon your critical strike avoidance. So that crit avoidance on this is actually going to be applied as a damage, which is pretty cool. Now the other points that we have, 8 into Blade Dancer, which is Dex and Glancing Blow. And then 13 into Marksman, Dex, Dodge Rating debuff, Haste after Evade. And then 5 into Assassin's Quiver. This is added bow, critical strike chance. Those are the passives. Moving over to last Epoch tools, we're going to break down the blessings, idols, and gear, starting with blessings. Now on here, we have taken Void Resistance, critical strike avoidance, and remember, critical strike avoidance for this build is also going to give you damage because of your passive tree. Endurance, chance to shred physical resistance on hit. Umbral Blades is going to be doing this all the time. And added mana. Now, if you need lightning resistance, you could switch out this for lightning res as well. Moving over to idols, this one is pretty simple. You want critical strike multiplier for you and your minions because they are going to be able to double dip, and increased armor shred effect. And then on here, I just added health and mana. A little bit of cold res on once just to get it almost maxed, but you could add little resistance idols as well. But the main idol, double crit multiplier, armor shred. Now looking at the gear, technically speaking, there's nothing required for this build. It's not like you have to get this unique to unlock this build, but for Ballista, there is a lot of best in slot, okay? And we're gonna start with the bow. I literally looked in my stash and I had a 3 LP stand just sitting around, +2 to maximum Ballista. Awesome. You wanna get minion physical penetration and physical bow damage on it, okay? For our helmet, Bone Clamor is the best. Gives you a little bit of ward, gives you some resistance, but most importantly, intelligence and dex both scale with your ballista. And intelligence is going to give multiplicative damage because of the node inside of aerial assault. Bone Clamor, great helmet. Your Falcon cannot die, and you are spamming your ballistas all the time. So Death Rattle's also awesome because it's minion critical strike multiplier, but your minions take more damage. That's not a big deal. And this has intelligence on it, which again gives you multiplicative damage to your ballista. Since we're popping potions all the time, Jungle Queen's Chaps is great because this is +12 to potion slots, and it has dexterity on it, and it has minion physical damage. Unbelievable. And if you can get the experimental affix on your belt where mana gained on a potion use, you literally never have to worry about mana either. We are using double Phantom Grip. This is going to give minion critical strike chance and +2 to minion skills. These are very easy to find with 2 or 3 LP, so that is why we are using them. And last, we are using Melvern's Wort, which is going to give you another minion, a crossbow mercenary. And this is going to give you increased minion damage, minion bow critical strike, and chance to find even more potions with Dex. Again, very easy to find with LP. Now, the other items we are using, we are taking plus the maximum ballista on our chest with Dex, double health, and you can put intelligence on here as well. Resistances, Dex, minion on our quiver. Boots, movement, Dex, double health. Again, you can use intelligence. On our gloves, Dex, intelligence, double health. Great resistances. Okay life, huge endurance, critical strike avoidance, and glancing blow. That is the gear. So now let's talk leveling tips and tricks. It's not a leveling guide, but kind of get you pointed in the right direction. Now for me, it doesn't matter if I'm leveling a Blade Dancer, Marksman, or a Falconer. The skill I like to level with is Cinder Strike. And you can go dual wielding melee Cinder Strike, or you can go bow. The decision is yours. Now, the reason why I like Cinder Strike is because there are so many low-level uniques that are fire that it just makes it very, very easy to make leveling uniques, and you could fly through the campaign. Now, for Cinder Strike, I basically take these 3 nodes. This is Fire Shred, Fire Damage, and Fire Damage, including bigger area with multiplicative and base. These 3 nodes is all you need for your Cinder Strike, and again, you could use a bow or you can dual wield. The other skill I like to take is Shift. And for Shift, I just focus on these 2 nodes right here. Haste after you use it, and increase cooldown recovery speed. That way you can literally just run through the entire campaign as fast as humanly possible. And then the third skill I normally snag is, of course, Smoke Bomb. Now, what's great about Smoke Bomb is obviously you get some survivability, and if you are traversing the campaign super quick, every once in a while you might hit a hard mob or two, and this is going to give you a bunch of survivability. And if you decide to go bow attack for your leveling, you could snag this right here, Shadow Hunter, which is going to give you up to a 10% base critical strike chance and blind enemies. Blinded enemies can't hit you with any with a critical strike, so it basically gives you 100% critical strike avoidance. So to recap, I like using Cinder Strike, and I actually recommend using the bow, but you could use either Shift and Smoke Bomb. You will fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new Ballista Falconer build? Is there anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Of course, only if you think I've earned it. Best way to support is Patreon, and don't forget to join the official Action RPG Discord. We have movie nights, we have game nights, we do a game giveaway every 2 weeks for just being a member of the community. Right now, the current game giveaway is Dragonkin the Banished, which is coming out March 6th. It's an awesome place to hang out, and we're kind of the unofficial voice channel of Last Epoch. We also have a new treasure hunt community event coming out on April 2nd for Season 3. I'm done. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.